All right, good morning. Okay, start off with, I want to do a little safety meeting. And just follow along if you would. First aid and medical first aid. In emergency situations, prompt, properly administered first aid can mean the difference between life and death, rapid versus prolonged recovery, or temporary versus permanent disability. Safety comes first, but when accidents do happen, it is important to have someone who knows how to handle the situation effectively. You may be that person. In that case, knowing what to do and not to do is important. If you aren't qualified, quickly get someone who is. Also, know where the first aid kits and emergency eye wash stations are before an incident occurs. And understand and follow the universal precautions when dealing with blood. The following table lays out some basic first aid information. First aid basics, a call for help. If you are not alone, have someone go for help immediately. If you are alone, immediate care is a priority. However, that immediate care may be going for help. Analyze the situation. Don't become a victim yourself. If you can be safe while doing it, get the victim away from any danger source such as water, fire, or downed power lines. Be sure to turn off all power sources before touching an electrocution victim. Don't move the victim. If there is any chance of spine or neck injury, do not move the victim unless he or she is in a life-threatening situation. Look for signs of life. Look for signs of life and give artificial respiration or CPR if necessary, but only if you have been trained. Be sure help is on the way before starting CPR. Do not tilt the victim's head back if you suspect a neck injury. Control heavy bleeding. Stop the flow of blood by direct pressure, elevating the injury above the heart or pressure points. Do not use a tourniquet unless the person is in danger of bleeding to death and you've been trained to apply one. Do me a favor, someone in that back, go make sure that that door is unlocked back there. Thank you. Treat for shock. Signs of shock include cold, pale skin, a rapid faint pulse, nausea, rapid breathing, and weakness. To treat for shock, keep the victim lying down, cover him or her only enough to maintain body heat. Don't move the victim unless absolutely necessary, and get medical help immediately. Treat for choking. A person could choke to death in a few minutes. If you can tell a person is choking, if he or she can't speak, cough, or breathe. If the person is choking, use the Heimlich maneuver. Treat for burns. For small burns, gently soak burn in cold water or pour cold water on the burn. Do not treat large burns with water unless they are chemical burns. Cover burn with a dry, sterile bandage. Provide artificial respiration as needed. Seek medical attention. Some chemicals should not be flushed with water, but neutralized by other means. See chemical label. Treat for chemical burn in eye. Quickly flush the eyes with lots of water for at least 15 minutes. For best results, do so at an eye wash station, emergency shower or hose. Try to force the eyes open to wash the chemical out. Do not bandage eyes. Seek medical attention. Treat for fracture. Do not move the victim unless you absolutely have to. This is especially important if you suspect a neck or back injury. Get medical help. Okay, so when it comes to first aid, I mean, some of the things that you can do, make sure you have a first aid kit in your truck. If you do not currently have a first aid kit in your truck, please notify your manager, notify Weston. Let them know that you don't have one, okay? You can also notify Brian, you can also notify me, you can notify those, but you should notify Weston first of all. You should have a first aid kit on your truck. Second, you should have MSDS sheets on your truck, and we're going to go out and check those after the meeting here. I want to check those, and I want to check oil change stickers. So before you leave, do not skirt out of here. I want to make sure that we're looking at everyone's truck, okay? Other thing is a fire extinguisher. You should have a fire extinguisher on each one of your trucks. If you don't have that, we need to know that. We will make sure that you get that, okay? Burns. Now, guys, you've been doing this long enough. Each and every one of you have been doing this long enough that you should know, and we've gone over this in training, do not gauge up on a unit unless you're putting gloves on, okay? Refrigeration is a serious thing. It can burn you, and it can actually put you out of work if if you get burnt with it. We had an incident the other day, and I don't have the pictures with me. I need to show those. You got pictures? Yeah. Pass those around if you would. Pass your phone around. Don't swipe to the left or right, please. It's Rob's phone. Yeah, it blistered up to the point that is second-degree burns for sure, possible third-degree, depending. I'm not sure, but it's bad. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Put gloves on, guys. It's not that big of a deal. Put some gloves on if you're going to gauge up on a unit. I've been doing this probably longer than most of you have in here, and I still put gloves on if I'm going to gauge up on a unit. But it never fails. Every year, one of my senior technicians, one of my guys with lots of experience, calls in and says, I can't go to work now. I can't provide because I didn't bother to put gloves on. Okay? Put gloves on when you're doing it. Okay? As far as that goes, if you do get a refrigeration burn on there, the process is, or if you get any sort of injury on the job site, first thing first, take care of yourself, remove yourself from the situation and address it. However it may be, if it's a cut, burn, eye injury, whatever, make a phone call. That phone call should be to Weston. That's your supervisor. After that, the call needs to be made to Brian. Okay? He's the general manager, and he's the one who handles all of our insurance issues. So make sure you follow that process. Okay? Cold weather driving is happening. So we're going to be getting... Oh. Let me get that sent out to these guys here real quick. Okay, so with the weather coming up, make sure that you're preparing yourself for cold weather driving out there. Roads are going to start getting slick. The more moisture that we have, it ends up freezing up on the ground. Roads will end up getting slick. I don't know, did you notice you came in on El Paso this morning? See a couple spots? There was a couple spots. Did you see where all that smoke is? Yeah, that's one field burning that caused all that. It looks like fog out there.
It's pretty bad.
That's gnarly. And that was that way last night, too. Yeah, that's bad. That's the other thing, too. Fog's going to start coming in. You got to make sure that you're just slow down, guys. There's nothing that's in too big of a hurry where you got to get there where you have to jeopardize the safety of your truck or yourself. All right, any questions on that? No, wonderful. Okay, Review Buzz. This week's, you'll see these on your check this week. You guys have been doing excellent on it. Keep it up. Keep doing it. It's really raising our presence, guys. Our call load, you can tell that it's been affecting it and helping it out with the amount of Review Buzz checks that we've been, or reviews we've been getting from your efforts. So keep it up. Please make sure you're doing it. We got Ben Clare. Come on up, Ben. There's $20. Rob Dutry. $60, close.
Really?
Yeah. Daniel Finnison. Daniel Finnison. $240. $240. Austin Hebert. $40. He's going to need to buy Neosporin with it. Jeremiah Johnson, who is going to get destroyed this week in fantasy football, did $80. Nice job. Richard Joyce, $80. Levi Lestar. Okay, how much was it last month?
Like 240 or something like that.
240. There's another 220. Guy's making a car payment every single, well, not his car. His car is way more, not his car, but my car. Making a car payment every month by getting reviews. That's awesome. Brandon McLean, $20. Jim Midgley, $80. Matt Fan, come on up. There's an extra $80 on your paycheck coming up this week. Dylan, come on up. $80, Dylan. Issa, we got 20. And Andrew Wellick got 80. Nice job. Okay, I know I've said this before and I'll say it again. That's $80, or not $80, but $20 for every review, positive review that gets posted. It's a pretty easy step. Just to hand them the card, go through it. In fact, Levi, once again, I want you to come up and explain how you're doing it. You're getting this very consistently. Go up through your scripting. In fact, I'm going to role play with you. Who has that microphone? Okay. You want one of those cards?
Sure, let's do it, man.
Okay, here's the microphone.
Okay.
That is a microphone. It's not what you're used to having that close to your face.
You're funny. You guys are funny today.
Yeah.
Woo.
He's missing those pistol grips on the bottom.
Funny guy. All right. All right. So what I do at the end of the tune-up, first I'll hand you all my sheets. I'll go through it, kind of make sure that you understand everything that's on there, all the components. If you have any questions, I'll ask you, do you have any questions or concerns before I get out of here?
No.
All right. Well, this is our review buzz. This goes strictly for me. There's instructions on the back here. It's pretty simple. I'll put my name on it right now. You can leave me a review. Just let them know how I'm doing. We strive for 5 stars. You can trash me, give me a great review. Just give me 5 stars, and I'll hand it to you. And I'll ask you if you have any more questions or concerns.
No, I don't.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me out here.
All right, great. Thank you.
Pretty
Appreciate
simple.
it. Take that back there with you. Just don't let Ollie have it.
Here, Ollie, take it.
All right. So, review buzz, review buzz, review buzz. Very simple. $20 for every one of those that you get, okay? Or that you can get the person to write a review on there. Any questions on that? No? All right. Stand up there and tell me if you can see that on the... You can see it? Okay. Okay, what you're looking at here is a hole, and it looks to me like we probably did a repair on this, okay? I don't know if everyone else can see this here. This is in the hole of a condensing coil, right? Okay, the fins have now been removed. Now, what's going to happen if we just leave it like this?
It's going to bypass. It's going to bypass the airflow.
Yeah, basically it's going to, all the air that's going to be drawn into that unit is now going to go right into this hole, and it's going to bypass, and it's not going to go through the process that it needs to change back into a liquid at that point, right? So what we need to do is you got to patch that hole. If you're out there, and this goes for mostly for your parts warranty guys, this is where you're going to run into this. If by chance you're out there repairing a hole, or you run across one that's like this on there, this has to be repaired. So the method of repair on that, Mike Wolcombe, would you mind coming up and explaining what the proper method of repair is on there? I have my idea what it is, but I want to have Mike give his input on it. And Mike, grab that microphone when you're coming up, if you would, please.
Okay, well, I mean, first of all, yeah, obviously if you left that like that, it's going to pull least resistance. 80% of your air is coming through the hole. 20% of the air going through the coil, obviously trashes your efficiency. And then somebody takes a picture and sends it to you. No. So the proper repair after that is to block that hole aesthetically as possible, but it's not always pretty. The best thing is actually a piece of...
Walk that way. There you go.
Ha-ha! Like there?
Yep.
See? Okay. Now I'm in the center?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. But I keep meandering this way.
You sense that.
So I used to use copper. I used to keep plate copper in my, just a thin sheet of copper and put it on both sides. I usually take screws and like the 1.5-inch screw or whatever and come through that on the four corners to hold that plate in place. And that blocks that air from coming through that area and losing all the efficiency that you're trying to condense in the condenser. Or not the efficiency, but the refrigerant. It does screw up the efficiency pretty bad. Obviously, most of the time we don't have copper in this, in our trucks, but sheet metal works just fine. It's as pretty as you can do something like that, and it'll definitely make a big difference in the operation of the unit.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. And one of the,
Was that your idea?
yes, yeah, no. Copper's usually not something that I have available, like he was saying. A piece of sheet metal's fine. Putting screws in there, you better know exactly where you're putting those screws. One of the things that just comes to mind, if you got some wire of any type, even if you don't have wire, you can MacGyver your own little wire. Just take some 18/8 and strip it out. Okay, just pilot little holes, four corners of it. You can take that 18/8, slide it through there, and then tie it through on the other side. Any thoughts on that, Mike? Okay, here's another. Here we go. Here's another one. The foam spray? Actually,
You can
probably.
use steel wool and zip tie it or wire, like Don was saying.
Hand it up.
Oh, I was just suggesting a foam spray. Maybe
If- if-
maybe a little silver paint.
If you have it, yeah. Yeah, all those work. The key thing there is, guys, we got to make sure that that hole is blocked, okay? Serious problems if we don't. So make sure if you're running across that it does get patched. All right, any thoughts on that? Anything else? No? Okay. I want you to pass those back. Mike, will you make sure we collect the excess of these at the back as they're getting passed back? Wolken? Okay, here's your thermostat brochures, guys. This has your pricing inside there, and it has the options for the thermostats you have available to you. These are Aprilaires. The benefit to an Aprilaire thermostat is you cannot get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, or any hardware store. It is sold only to contractors, okay? This is a contractor grade thermostat. As you're looking inside here, the Prestige has temperature comfort control, air cleaning system, humidity control system, comfort system. It's $729 installed. And if you want the Prestige Plus Wi-Fi, it's $892. Now, where this particular unit would come in, where it's applicable, is if you're trying to do humidity control. Okay, this thing works as a humidistat on the inside of the house, and it controls your humidifier. This is an IAQ center, Indoor Air Quality Center. That's about the only, not the only, but there's other things you can hook up to it as well. But that's primarily, if you're doing a humidifier and they're wanting to control the humidifier from within the home. Now, most of all of you realize that if you get a humidifier, most humidifiers are going to have a humidistat that is hooked up directly to the return air duct on the furnace. Okay? All that does is it puts a little sensing rod in there, and they can dial it anywhere from 0 to 60% humidity right there from the return air duct. If a person is wanting to control their humidifier from within the home, they can do that with this deal here. It will actually sense what the humidity is in the home, and it can actually control that humidifier back at the furnace. No, this one it'll have the same wire connection going to the thermostat. It's not the old Honeywell IAQ. The Ultra, really, guys, this Prestige, I mean, it's a great thermostat, and even if, let's say, down the road, they don't necessarily have to have a humidifier right now. If that's something they want to build on later, that's definitely what if that's something that they plan on doing, they want to keep making their system evolve and they want to add to it, this is an excellent option for them. Plus, it's a touchscreen thermostat on there. This is the one I put in my house that I had in Boise. It's a great thermostat. It's awesome. Lights up. Looks cool, easy to function. I think it's much easier to operate than any of the Honeywell 9000s. The back settings, it's not near as complicated. Would you agree, Mike?
Oh, yeah, no, it's a lot simpler.
Yeah. Plus, it has that event air circulation on it. And that's the biggest thing with any of the Aprilaire thermostats is the event air cleaning. You can put it on, and what's that function called on there?
Well, you have 24/7, you have for allergy, and then you have allergy, like high allergy, so it'll go for like so many hours, and you kick back, and then it has one that makes sure that the fan cycles 30 minutes out of every hour.
Yeah, event cycling.
Event
Yeah.
cycling.
And I believe it's on this thermostat over here, the name for it. It's the only thermostat, to my knowledge, that actually has that, guys. Yeah. It has on, auto, and then fan circulating. And that's what Mike's talking about, where it will come on every 30 minutes to help create an air exchange in the house. When it does that, the benefits to the homeowner is of course, it's going to be running it through the filter, which is going to reduce dust, reduce allergens in the home. Plus, it's going to keep from running into hot and cold spots in the house. There's lots of good benefits to having the fan circulate. If the person doesn't want to have it on 24/7, the Aprilaire is the one thermostat out there that has that event cycling where it will come on every 30 minutes and cycle. All of the thermostats on here, I believe, have that on there, don't they?
Yeah, they do now, I believe.
That's pretty much a standard through all the Aprilaire thermostats. If we're getting into just a regular touchscreen thermostat, that's our Ultra, $397 installed. It says $147 for the outdoor temp, optional. That's the other thing that's cool about having the Aprilaire thermostat is a lot of these thermostats, all of them except for the Premier, is going to have that ability to get an outdoor sensor installed. It's a 2-wire sensor that gets run to the outside near the outdoor unit, and it's going to say what the temperature is outside on the thermostat inside the house. Okay? That is an option. It's not something that is included with it. You would have to, let's say if they wanted to go with the touchscreen Ultra, it's $397 installed. It's an additional $147 to have the outdoor temp put on there. Okay? And if they want to do Wi-Fi, once again, the Prestige, the Ultra, both have Wi-Fi capability. So it's $519 for the Wi-Fi capable thermostat. Elite, now we're getting into a setback programmable thermostat. It has the event cycling for the air, but it's not a touchscreen. It's now a button thermostat. That's going to be the difference in options between the Elite and the Ultra. $219 installed, $147 additional for the outdoor temp. If they want to make that a touchscreen, or not touchscreen, but a Wi-Fi button thermostat, it's $379. Very affordable. And then the Premier is your entry-level thermostat. It still has a programmable. And then the cool thing that I like about the Aprilaires too, guys, is it doesn't have to be programmable. You can switch it. It can either be programmable or non-programmable, okay? If you have a customer that just doesn't like, they want to try it out, but they don't want to commit to it, this thermostat's perfect for that. They can try the programming out. If they don't like it, they can switch it back to a regular on-off thermostat, okay?
What model is that? Yellow model.
Premier.
So that particular one, I think you can only shift it from 4 programs per day to 2 programs a day. So you can
Is that true?
I don't think you can't turn that off. A touchscreen you can.
Okay, I'm being corrected on here. The touchscreen can be changed to where it's either a programmable or a non-programmable. The Premier can be changed from a 4-event to a 2-event programming. Is that correct, Don? Yes. Thank you. All right, make sure you have thermostats on your truck, okay? Don't stock the touchscreens. The ones that you're going to keep on your truck are going to be the Premier and the Elite. Okay?
So this price is, I thought the Premier was $315. That's what it says in the book, and I think that non-programmable is $209.
Well, I want you to use this. If you're going to talk to them about a thermostat and you're going to talk to them about the Aprilairs, use this. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, because now you got pictures and everything else. Okay, this will, I don't want to say it supersedes what's in the clear and transparent pricing. Clear and transparent would be not necessarily Aprilaire thermostats, because if you have the Aprilairs and you have this book, I want you to use this. Okay? Any questions on this? Let's get the, here, let's get in the practice of using this. If you're gonna speak, guys, make sure just motion that you want the,
What's the availability of these thermostats, like a Wi-Fi Prestige? Do we have them in stock, or are they a couple
Yes.
days out?
yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
When we limit the stuff, they're locked up. You want one in your house.
Gotcha. And so that'd be something you sold for 900, and an installer would come back to install, or how would that work?
Or we'll,
Have a runner bring it to you. I mean, you just call dispatch, see
Yep.
what they want you to do.
Oh.
It's gonna depend on our business of the day. You know, you may be on standby, is what they're looking at. All of a sudden, you came up and sold stat, they'll run a runner to you.
what Mike is saying out there is if you run across one of these, you don't have it on your truck, like he says, asking, are we scheduling it out? What you need to do is just call in and ask if we have a runner available that can bring it out there to you. You know, first of all, I'd probably notify Weston, see how he wants you to proceed. He may want you to move on to another call, and then we'll have someone else come out later on that day. I think every instance is going to change, depending on the temperature outside, the call load versus, you know, all that. Just get Weston involved on that. And once again, if you can't get a hold of Weston, you got me and Mike available to you as well. Any other questions? Okay. Now, I'm going to hand out your new clear and transparent pricing guides. Everyone, actually make it easy on me. Come up here, hand in your clear and transparent pricing guide, and I'll give you a new one as you hand it in, please. And if you have not signed in on the sheet, please sign in on the sheet.
So the one that you're doing now is that 8600? Touchscreen A4?
See, I don't know what the numbers are on it.
So an 86 is
Where's
a
your-
touchscreen, but it's not Wi-Fi.
It's less than I want to keep my dog.
Say again?
8600 is a touchscreen April Air that is not Wi-Fi.
Okay. Yeah, but we have a Wi-Fi that's available, I believe,
Well,
for
I
the
can
touch.
get you whatever, but if they're gonna sell them, I only keep like one or two of each, but I can up
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we'll work that out. Okay. Did you hand in the
Well,
other
the
one?
8600 is a
Hand it in on-
touchscreen non-Wi-Fi April Air, and then you can do a push button Wi-Fi or a touchscreen. What do you wanna sell? And if you're gonna do that, fucking lyric.
Did you sign in, Lisa?
Marriott
Yeah.
way. I gotta pay you now? And now, if you have a Lexus, your
Did you end up
Wi-Fi
with two of them?
thermostat has to be Lexus
Thank
ready
you.
or Ecobee or whatever that talking shit is in there. Because some of them don't work with it.
What's that?
Nope. So we're not doing Sensi no more? And it won't work. What's up with that? This is right kit for the.
No, I believe we are. Just take the one that I gave you, please. Yeah. Yeah, take the ones that we gave you. And just leave that one. Yeah, leave that one there. Just take the ones that we gave you.
So we're gonna have a separate thing for Sensi then?
I'm sure.
I like mine.
Okay, if you got your deal, please have a seat. Hit that door, man.
The next time, here, this is yours. Why don't you call me from the job? No, you didn't.
Here you go.
You didn't call me.
I believe so.
Oh, yeah? It's gonna rain on Friday.
All right, guys. So the clear, transparent pricing, they did make some adjustments on there. What those adjustments are exactly, I apologize. I wasn't in the loop on that one. So first things that I'm noticing on there is colors have changed. You don't have a blue and a pink one or a green and a blue one like it was before. You got a white. Now Obviously, the left page is going to be for your furnace or indoor unit. The right page is going to be for cooling or the outdoor unit. I know they added some, they did add a couple more components on the inside there. Let's see.
So tier one, it says first pound of Freon, and right below it, it says does not include refrigerant.
So that would be, anytime that you see the little asterisk, that means that it does not include the refrigerant. If you notice where it says first pound of refrigerant or Freon, there is no
Oh, okay, I see.
asterisk. Yeah. I heard someone say Schrader valve.
No, it's just got the asterisk.
Yeah. So if you change out a Schrader valve, it doesn't include the refrigerant necessary. If I remember right, one of the things that we were having issues with was there was no blower motor. These aren't warranty, you guys. These are straight, clear, and transparent. So actually, it was the warranty one that didn't. Level 6. Okay. Actually, I was thinking of the labor and warranty one was the one that didn't have that one in it. But
What's the primary electrolytic condenser? What's the difference between that and the dual stage and the single stage? That's on tier 6. on the outdoor. 797.
primary electrolytic condenser.
Condenser motor and the capacitor.
Put the surge protector in.
I think that shouldn't have been a comma probably on there. I think Mike's right. Where it says OEM motor on the outdoor unit and primary electrolytic condenser, that's a combined. Because anytime you change the motor, you're going to change the electrolytic condenser with it. So I'm sure that's what they're talking about. Not necessarily doing a dual cap on it. You're just doing a single cap on it because it's just affecting the motor on it.
It says it right there, condenser air controller with electrolytic condenser also. On tier 6.
Yeah. That would probably be, yeah, I couldn't tell you, but that's the way I'm reading it. It's listed on there twice. It was so good, they listed it twice.
I can't say for a dual stage it's gonna be 797.
Only if you want to go to hell. All right. What other things are you seeing on there you got questions about? I'm full of answers today. Let me know.
Tier 2 dropped down to 199 now.
That's not a question, Thomas.
I know that.
I'm just messing with you. No, I'm sure you're going to see that these prices are extremely fair and competitive with what you're finding out there.
So, are we just because I don't want
Hold on, let's get in the practice of passing that microphone around. Really choke up on that thing. No, don't talk. Hey, Thomas, you want to talk? Come get the mic. Thank you, Issa. I appreciate you doing it.
So this being our clear and transparent pricing guide, why are we putting warranty pricing in here?
Where are you seeing?
So if you look at tier 2 on indoor unit, it gives you in warranty gas valve, in warranty control board, and a couple other different things that say in warranty.
Probably because there's a little bit of a difference depending on because generally if you're using this clear and transparent pricing guide, you're going to be using it on a system that we did not install. Your labor warranty processing guide, right? The blue one that you have, generally you're going to be using that on systems that we installed, okay? It's going to be a little bit different if it's out there on a system that we didn't install.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you can still use this. Let's say I'm out there, it's a 4-year-old system that someone else put in. I have no problem. I'm going to use my clear and transparent pricing guide with them. And these are just general, more common repairs that we're going to use on there.
We're only charging $486 for control boards?
Depends on the control board, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like I just heard someone say, If it's a universal on there, you know, the cost of our universal board versus an OEM board, night and day difference. What do we, Mike, would you say it's probably we're spending 25% on a universal board compared to an OEM board?
Yeah, probably 40, but yeah,
But-
there's a huge cost difference.
Yeah.
I don't have any OEM. Everything I have is like universal. So just start charging 486 for boards.
Well, I want you to use your management team on there, call
Okay.
in, verify, okay?
So you got 697 too.
Yeah, but the customer, like a lot of times the customers will take this and start looking at it and they'll be like, well, you know, so 486 for a board is pretty cheap.
Sounds like you got really, really
Right,
smart
so you just
customers.
tell them the difference is the primary controller down here is on a different style furnace, and so we don't want to gouge that one style customer, so we had to add it to our price list, and their price is $697. Get the fuck over it.
And what's, let me ask you this too. Is there a difference between walking up to a furnace that's in a garage where I can stand there and change out a board versus one that's in an attic space or one that's in a crawl space? Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a difference in the amount of labor involved?
Yeah.
Okay. What if it's 0 degrees outside and I got to get in the crawl space and it's wet? Okay. What if it's 100 degrees outside and I got to get up in the attic space? Is it fair to say that I'm probably going to have to change my clothes in either one of those scenarios? Okay, what's the time difference between going into one that's right there in a garage or inside the home versus one that's in a crawl space or up in an attic?
Probably at least an extra half hour.
I think you're being generous with that. Yeah, I would say there's more time. Guys, quit being black and white. This is your clear and transparent pricing guide. Guys, I've been doing this a long time, and I understand you may have a one or two customers that are going to go through there and dissect this. I used to hand this to my customers so they had something to look at so they weren't bothering me while I was doing my service. I had no problem doing that. How many times out of 100 do you think I really had someone that gave me shit about the difference between a 4 and a 6 if one was listed here or one was listed there? Very few. Very few, if any. And the ones that did I even sweat it? Did I have a problem telling them, well, yeah, this one here happened to be if your furnace was in the garage, but your furnace happens to be in the crawl space. Please understand, I'm going to have to clean all my tools. I'm going to have to change my clothes. Fortunately, I do have a set of clothes here, but I am going to have to go clean up after this. There's much more time involved. So yes, your price is the tier 6 on that. It takes confidence, guys. Yes, pass the microphone over to Ollie, please.
Don, I think we should change the diagnostic fee for the crawl space and attic too, because the diagnostic fee in the garage is 98, and in the crawl space, very tight area or attic is 98 too. We should change the diagnostic fee.
I would like to change the diagnostic fee to nothing, guys, to be honest with you. That way I get more calls. Yeah, it's all about getting into the house, and I appreciate what you're saying. You're absolutely right. We should be charging more for those instances. We should be charging more for the calls that we run on Thanksgiving. We should be charging more for the calls that we run after 6 o'clock at night. We should be charging more for calls on Sundays. But the fact of it is, you got 300 contractors that are wanting that work that you're out there getting that we're blessed to have. So at the end of the day, no, that's probably not going to happen. Yes?
I just got a curiosity question. Do you think like when we do stuff like that, it makes it harder for us to give stuff away? Then people start expecting stuff like that for free or don't really respect what we're doing?
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Mike. Please re-say that again.
So, like, you know, to do everything for free or to charge low prices, do you think that brings like the people that are turn into like problematic people and start like, you know, wanting everything for free, not understanding that eventually they're going to have to pay some money? I feel like I had a couple customers like that, like they just don't understand, you know, we're doing a lot for them, but they're wanting shit for free or stuff for free. You know, when they see the prices, they, you know, or they complain and stuff.
You know, I can see your point of view on that. Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, absolutely. There's going to be those instances on there. I mean, what's the value in something that's free? you know?
Right.
For sure. Some things are, if it sounds too good to be true. It's kind of the same cliche, right?
Well, you know, like when you give free stuff away, it attracts all kinds of people that just want everything for free.
Yeah. When you go into Home Depot, okay? When you go into Home Depot and you start looking through, you guys ever notice, especially around the holidays, but now that it's pretty much as a trend, and you see this at Walmart, you see it everywhere else. When you walk into the store and you see the bins of the little miniature flashlights, how much are those little flashlights that you see in there?
But
$1, $2. Are they making anything on those? You walk through and you see that they got the Husky tool. I mean, I love the Husky, going in and looking at all the Husky tools on there. I'm a junkie. I buy tools that I don't even need. But it never fails. Around the holidays, you'll walk through there and you'll see, you know, the ratchet set that was $69, and now it's like literally $29, 50% off. Or you'll see the Milwaukee drill set that's normally $300, and now it's for $100. Are they making anything on that $100 at that point? Okay. It's a strategy they call loss leader items. It's all about marketing. It's to be able to get you in the door. Okay? And sure, does it lower the value to some extent? It does on those particular items, but it tends to raise the value on other items. You know, I know Jeff has talked about this before with how Walmart got started. Started off selling girls' panties, you know, 10 for $1. That's how Walmart got most of its fame. That's how he came up with his strategy on how he was going to come up with a good business model is he was going to buy panties in bulk and then almost just give them away, and then it would get the people in the door, and then through his advertising, using the little bouncing ball and everything else, he was going to keep people in the store and keep them buying, right? The further you go to the back of the store, the more you're going to spend. What's at the back of the store when you go into Walmart? The very back wall is the big screens, right? Okay? Is there really that much difference in price between a Walmart big screen and what you're going to see at Best Buy?
you probably pay more at Walmart sometimes.
Sometimes. I mean, Best Buy is pretty hard to beat. But yeah, you're not, you know, some people, you'll see them buying those TVs in there, but it's just because they save so much money on the other stuff that they were able to get that, right? It's all strategy, guys. If I have a tune-up fee at $69, it's probably the purpose why we do that tune-up fee, or not tune-up, but that diagnostic fee at $69 is because the other guy's at $79. It's all about getting a foot in the door. Customer calls up, they say, hey, I'm not happy with this. How much is your diagnostic? $69. Okay, well, we're going to call around. Well, I tell you what, if you go online, we got a $20 coupon. Just go ahead and print that off, and we'll do that discount for you. Oh, well, I don't have a printer. I tell you what, we'll do it for you. I'll print that off. The CSR, I tell them we'll print it off for them, and we'll apply it to that ticket. Next thing you know, they're accepting the call. If they still give any hesitation on there, I tell you what, we'll print off 2 of those coupons. Would that work for you? I tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you actually go to the Telemundo phone book, okay, Telemundo phone book, you look inside there, it's a free diagnostic. There's a coupon in there for free. It's all about strategy to be able to get your foot in the door, okay? And it's not about the fact that we're going to try and get whatever we can today on there. Sure. I'm very proud to say, and I will tell this to any one of my clients, and I'll tell it to anyone who comes to work here, and I'll tell it against any one of my competitors, that we are here to make a profit. That is why we are in business. It is not to be a charitable organization. I have plenty of time. Well, I don't have plenty of time, but there's plenty of other ways that I can donate my time to be charitable. But it's not when it comes to business, because if I don't collect for the company I work for, that affects my paycheck. And if it affects my paycheck, it affects my kids. So yeah, I can remove myself emotionally from this situation very easily, okay? It's about being profitable. We got to be profitable. Now, if it means that I got to go out and do a $49 tune-up, then absolutely, that's what it's going to take, because it gets my foot in the door. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to hit a home run on this call while I'm out there. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to collect a $180 average ticket, or that I'm going to get 1 out of 4 tune-ups and I'm going to set a lead on it. It has nothing to do with that. What it really comes down to is that I'm going to put a sticker on that piece of equipment. And I know it's not a question of if, but when that furnace or air conditioner is going to break. It's not a question of if, but when they're going to end up replacing it. It is impossible to have a heating and air conditioning system and it not fail. It is impossible to have a heating and air conditioning system that's going to last forever. They just don't, guys. It's like a vehicle. Eventually, they're going to have to put tires on it. Eventually, they're going to have to get the oil changed, and eventually, they're probably going to need to get it replaced because it's going to have a major repair on it. I'm weighing the odds. So when we wave a diagnostic on there, yeah, we're investing in the client. We're paying to have that client because in the hopes that eventually it's going to fail. That's really what it comes down to. And as long as I follow my processes and procedures, and when I'm in the office, or I follow my processes and procedures when I'm in that pink truck, I know it's going to work out. Quit worrying about what's going to happen on the call. We have a comfort advisor. He made a good point. He made an excellent point. Okay, and you guys know our comfort advisors, they're straight commission guys. That is a road most all of you would never want to go down being a straight commission person. Okay? That's a rough road. It's a roller coaster of emotions. When you're high, you're high. When you're low, you're really low. You want to talk about depression? Try going 3 days without making anything.
That is 100% true.
It's very true. Okay? But he don't look at it that way. He don't look at it that way. He looks at the big picture. He knows what he makes at the end of the year. He knows what he makes on the paycheck. He takes that number on the paycheck, he divides it by the amount of calls that he goes on or the leads that's provided, and he knows that's how much he makes every time he knocks on a door. Okay? You got to quit focusing on, what the outcome of the call is going to be. Focus on the process and the procedure. You got to focus on just that process. It's going to eat you alive. It will. The stress of having to go out and perform at a high level, the stress of going out and knowing that you have to that we have to be profitable, that's a lot to weigh on any man's shoulders. But if you follow the processes and procedures, I know it's going to happen. It's impossible for it not to happen. You just got to stick to the program. Like this, clear and transparent. Like letting dispatch do their job. Not giving them any flack on the call that they're giving. They're just doing what they're supposed to do on there. Making sure that you're here on time. Making sure that you show up for the trainings. Make sure that you take care of all your tools. Make sure you take care of the company's tools. Make sure you take care of the company truck. All that's your process and procedure. You just got to make sure it's so easy, guys. It's so easy. It's amazing how it's all lined out for you. I mean, I've worked at lots of heating and air conditioning companies. I'm proud to say I'm on my 13th year here right now, okay? Before I came here, longest I worked anywhere was 1.5 years. I bounced around chasing a buck here, there, everywhere. But it was all on me. I didn't have anything provided for me. I had to provide everything. Okay? You have everything provided for you, including the phone, the uniforms, the truck, the tools, a tool account if you need it, a paycheck every 2 weeks and you're not getting told that you got to hold on to it, waiting for their check to clear before your check will clear. You want to talk about a stressful situation. I've been there. That sucks. You don't have to worry about any of that. You just have to follow the process and the procedure. Okay? One other thing. I was watching a video yesterday. It was an excellent video of a heat exchanger inspection. The only problem is the technician had found the compromise in the heat exchanger, but he didn't do the process with the client while he was on the camera. I mean, sure, you found the compromise. And I know this because you started off perfect. You went right to the work order. We saw the service order on there. And then we went through and did everything. You got the customer's picture, you got your picture, you got everything on there. And then you went through and you found the compromise, but you didn't say, now that looks like a questionable area. What does that look like to you? We got to get that on that camera, on that recording. I want to hear the customer say, that looks like a crack, or that looks like a hole. I need that confirmation from them. And then I want to hear you say what the American Gas Association says on that recording. We have an excellent way now. We almost got this fine-tuned where you bring that SD card in. That SD card now is going to be, we're going to zip it to a file, and it's going to be able to get emailed to the customer instead of us having to burn a disk. This is pretty awesome, guys. It's going to have that. We can send it right directly to the person who's following up behind you, whether it's a comfort advisor or a senior tech. He's going to be able to show it, say, look, you found the crack, Mr. Homeowner. I mean, I hear you say it right here on it. It's huge, but you got to follow that process and procedure, okay? Yesterday was a big day for heat exchangers. You guys found a lot of compromises out there, and that's great. But you just got to just fine tune that filming of it, that recording. Make sure that we get that, okay? Any questions? Nothing at all? Okay, everyone parked outside here. Let's go out and take a quick look. Each one of the trucks, please. Thank you.